Hey everyone, and a happy new year! To celebrate the start of 2019, we're going to take a good old look at the best PC exclusive games coming out over the next 12 months. We've rounded up 10 of the most exciting games that have been confirmed for 2019, or at the very least are hopefully on track for release this year. We all know the pain of the ever delayed launch after all. It looks like it's going to be a very good year to be a PC gamer, so show your love for us here at PCGamesN by subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. We will be forever in your debt. Anyway, let's get started. We'll kick off with one of my favourites. One of the cool things about playing games on PC is that loads of them have alphas and early access, so you can play them months and sometimes years before release. Satisfactory is one of these games. Right now you can sign up to a closed alpha on its website and experience a construction game which is all about exploring a massive planet, harvesting resources, building stuff, and occasionally fighting local wildlife. And with any luck, all the player alpha testing will put it on track for a full 2019 release. But what do you do in Satisfactory? Well, you play as a pioneer for a corporation who's sent out to chart an alien planet. So you'll start with chopping down trees and gathering rocks by hand. But in just a few hours, you'll have an intricate system of automated mass production, with multi-story factories, crisscrossing conveyor belts, and vehicles, so you can rest your tired little hands. It's going to feel great to completely strip mine a once lovely planet and turn it into an industrial empire.
Age of Empires 4 will be the first numbered entry in the real-time strategy series for well over 10 years. Age of Empires 3 was released way back in 2005. Other than an announcement trailer at Gamescom 2017, developer Relic hasn't revealed anything about the game. But our PC senses are tingling, and we're hoping to see plenty more this year, maybe even a release. Relic said in a blog post, "We can't wait to bring this franchise back to the forefront of gaming." When you consider that Microsoft is bankrolling this to make it a Windows 10 exclusive, that quote is pretty telling, and points to Age of Empires 4 being positioned as something big indeed. Judging by the trailer art, it's going to give you a variety of armies to control, including Native Americans, British Redcoats, Roman Legionnaires, and Japanese Samurai. This might just be the definitive Age of Empires game.
Next up is Mavericks, a battle royale game with a twist. That twist being an insanely massive player count 10 times larger than Fortnite and PUBG. If my maths is correct, that means a whopping 1,000 players per match, making this hands down the biggest battle royale game launching this year. And my maths is never wrong. The technology powering such vast numbers is called Spatial OS. This software lets developers easily make games with added layers of complex simulation. A benefit of this is allowing for deeper persistence in the world. So for instance, a trail of blood from a wounded player will remain on the map, and you can use this to track down enemies. Bigger isn't necessarily better of course, but the fact that this is the largest battle royale game so far, combined with that Spatial OS tech, makes Mavericks one to watch.
Another PC exclusive coming in 2019 is this realistic online military FPS. In Escape from Tarkov, you're fighting to get out of a sealed-off city. The remaining inhabitants are dueling mercenaries and private military companies, and it seems like the only thing they've got in common is hating your guts. What will probably strike you about Escape from Tarkov is just how hardcore it is. Your character has physical characteristics like hydration, blood pressure, fractures, intoxication, exhaustion, and tremors. And there are real-time weather conditions and time of day changes, all of which impact your firefights. Realistic ballistics and projectile hit physics govern your weapons, which can also jam and overheat. And if you miraculously manage to survive against both human and AI enemies in this massive grim world, you can take your loot to auction and get rich. But that's a very big if.
Time for another awesome PC exclusive strategy game now in Total War 3 Kingdoms. Slated to launch in March 2019, it's the first game in Creative Assembly's series to take place in China. The year is 190 CE, and your aim is essentially to unite the various fractured lands under your new dynasty. You can do this in real-time battles, or dominate your enemies on political and economic fronts in turn-based maneuverings outside of the battles. You get the choice of playing one of 11 different warlords, all with various kinds of beard as you can see. And you can recruit legendary heroes too. You can only imagine what type of beard they're gonna have. So yeah, that's out March 2019 exclusively on PC.
Developer Intrepid Studios is currently in the process of making the most backed MMO in Kickstarter history. Called Ashes of Creation, the game aims to give the static worlds you usually associate with MMOs a kick up the backside. You get to determine the landscape in an ever-changing world, shaping everything from the sizes of cities to the quests available to the power level of monsters from server to server. As Intrepid says, your aim is to rebuild, repopulate and rediscover a fallen world. You might want to buy a home within a village and watch your investments skyrocket as the settlement expands into a city, or buy a plot of land and focus on farming. PvP, meanwhile, lets you fight for control over caravans, hunting grounds, or even entire castles. If you're into fantasy MMOs, you're definitely going to want to check this one out.
Talking of Ashes of Creation, Intrepid has 2 projects on the go, set within the same world. Ashes of Creation Apocalypse is a precursor to the MMO. It's a 100-player medieval fantasy battle royale game, and while the underlying aim of Apocalypse is to test key systems and infrastructure ahead of the main game, it's still a fully fledged experience in itself. The open beta is available to play right now, and in the near future there'll be a co-op horde mode, as well as 200-player castle sieges, where you work together to assault grand fortresses. Apocalypse sort of reminds us of Fortnite's Battle Royale situation, in that the PvP mode became much more popular than the original co-op iteration. Based off the exciting footage you see here, we wouldn't be surprised if Apocalypse becomes Ashes of Creation's main event.
Sunless, guys, is the sequel to Sunless Sea, and takes the gothic exploration game into space as you command a flying steam locomotive and lead a crew to glory. Or, if you're bad at being a flying steam locomotive captain, you can send your entire crew mad. Inspired by Lovecraftian horror and the works of H.G. Wells, you'll smuggle souls and barter for crates of time. Literal time. And then maybe stop for cricket in a cuppa. You'll struggle to find better writing in a game than the Sunless series. An example of this lies with the officers that you'll recruit, who each have their own stories and quests to unravel. All of this while you're upgrading your locomotive with weapons and equipment to keep an unforgiving celestial wilderness at bay. The full release comes to PC a little ways into 2019, but if you can't wait, it's available on Steam Early Access right now.
Next up, this one is pretty complicated. Star Citizen, the giant, lavish, open-ended space game, is kinda out, and kinda not. You can purchase it and then download the alpha right now, which comes with a ship and some in-game cash to get you started. But the game is far from finished and is still in active development, with huge features being added all the time. A final release date is still up in the air, but regardless of whether it comes out in 2019 or much later, it'll definitely be a PC exclusive, there's no doubting that. You can venture off and explore the universe with others, eke out a living as an adventurer, or deal in contraband and go ply your illegal trade on the black market. There's even a boots on the ground FPS portion. Of all the procedurally generated space exploration games hitting PC next year, Star Citizen will easily be the most polished. Again, you know, whenever it comes out.
And lastly, here's Black Mesa Zen, a fan remake of the first Half-Life game's eerie final chapter. It's got the full blessing of Valve, but it actually deviates from the original in a few ways, chiefly by expanding it into a roughly 6-hour adventure. This one's coming out again exclusively on PC around the summer of 2019. Thankfully, summer doesn't tend to be too heavy on big new releases, so it'll be a great opportunity to see this infamous chapter of Half-Life spruced up for modern rigs, giant mutant baby and all. If you've already bought the main Black Mesa game, which remakes the first part of Gordon Freeman's adventure and is available to buy from Steam right now, you'll get Zen free of charge when it releases.
So there you go, 10 amazing reasons to justify having a gaming PC in 2019. And when you factor in that these are just the PC exclusive games, and we've also got multi-platform bangers coming out like Anthem, Rage 2, Metro Exodus, and The Division 2 as well, there's plenty to get your teeth into. As always, leave a like and comment on the video letting us know which games you're looking forward to, and subscribe to PCGamesN to stay up to date on all our latest PC news.